Hey everyone. So my phone is being a brat again, and it cut off my video of me putting the wings on my doll. So I really apologize for that. So I am going to show you what I did, and every once in a while I'm just going to take a peek to make sure it doesn't cut me off again. But basically, what I did is I got these wings from our local dollar store here in Rocky Mountain House, and I think you can get them at probably Dollar Tree. I don't know, probably Dollarama too, here in Canada. And these have on the back, let's just open this up. These have a clip on them. So what I do is I just pull that off and then gently remove the wings. Sometimes they are really stuck on there, but this came off relatively easy. So this just gets chucked. I don't use that for anything. You could definitely embellish these more, paint them, stamp them. Yeah, you could totally change these up any way you want, but for the purpose of this video, we'll just keep it really simplistic. So that's how I separate them. And before I put them on the doll, I just kind of position them around where I want them. Well, I kind of like that double sort of wing look. I might actually add these onto this doll. Yeah. I actually kind of like that. I don't like how that wing is broken there, but you know, that's the thing with these kind of wings. They're made of real feathers, so they're not always perfect, but that's okay. I really like that double wing look. Let's add it. I'm going to add them. So I kind of know where I'm putting them. Add a little dab of glue there, and then let's see here. There we go. Put that there. And I think I'm going to get a different wing because that one's kind of damaged on the tip. And I'm going to use this one. Stick that one with that one. I don't mind using the broken wing, like if they have like some damage, because I do make dolls too with, you know, spirit messages, such as with a broken wing she flies and so forth. So I'll use that one for another doll, but I want this one to be intact. And I absolutely love that double wing look. Beautiful. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do, I'm going to do the same thing I did to these darker pink or magenta wings. I'm just going to put a piece of fabric over them just to give it a little bit of extra protection so that it doesn't come off. So I'm just going to grab a small piece of fabric. We don't need a very big piece. That's good. Okay, and we're just gonna glue that on there so then it just stays a little bit more firmly in place and doesn't fall off. Okay, there we go. All right. So there we have our wings. Now the next thing I'm going to do is, so in the kits, I threw them together so fast and I forgot to add wire to the kits that I sent out to Ontario. I don't always include wire, but I like to if I have it. And I forgot, so I apologize for that, but you can pick up wire at the dollar store relatively cheap. So I'm just gonna grab a strand of wire from my little tin here. And then I'm gonna take some of my beads here and let me see. I'm just gonna make a little loop here just so my beads don't fall off. Okay, and then I am going to just grab some kind of colors that sort of match my doll, and there's a little bit of orange, and we're gonna make a little necklace for her. And it's just gonna be random sizes and come on, get on there. Yeah, I'm not overthinking it. And I really like this kind of way of doing artwork, like not really thinking, just going with how I'm feeling, like what feels good. And we're listening to how we're feeling. We're trying to let go of controlling everything. And so there's something really nice about just being, what's the word? Free in your art, right? And just not thinking about things. I think in the past I used to always overthink how I wanted my dolls to look, or to, like, they had to be, and even my paintings, like, it had to be there had to be some perfection in how I did my work. And then once I started getting better at doing art, and once I started just really like relaxing and letting go and just allowing the process to happen naturally, that's when I would make some really cool things. And some of the best dolls that I ever made have been dolls that I made where I was like really tuning into my inner self and listening to spirit as I was creating, and putting on things that felt good instead of things that, oh, it looks good, it looks better, right? No, let's go with how we feel. Because the whole purpose of spirit doll making for me is around listening to what's going on internally, because everything that we're putting on our doll is a reflection of our inner self, our soul, and it's speaking a story to us. So and magic happens when we do that, and we're able to hopefully maybe not right away, but in time, interpret some of those messages that spirit is speaking to us through the symbolism of what is being expressed through your creation. So I hope that makes sense. So I think I'll just throw a couple more on here and then it'll be good. And I do have charms too. I could have thrown a charm on her as well. This one doesn't, it's a bead, but it doesn't have, the one end is closed off on it. Okay, that goes in the garbage. Let's do this one, and let's do one more here. I think that should be good for her little necklace. And I'm just gonna bend this and twist. So then it doesn't pop off. And there's her little necklace. So there's a couple ways you can do this. You can try to thread it through here. Yeah, that works. And I'm gonna get underneath her hair. I glued her hair down too, by the way, on the back, like just right here, just so it doesn't shift. So let's, oh, am I still filming? Okay, good. I don't know why my phone keeps cutting me out like that. Okay, now come back through this way. You know, I probably should have put the necklace on before I put the wings on, but it is what it is, and we'll get her done. Okay, here we go. There she is. Okay, I'll just thread that through the wire loop that I made. And take my pliers here and just do a little twisty thing here so that the beads don't come off. Do you guys like my technical language? I don't know what. Okay. Okay, I think that's good. Okay, so there's her little, let's fix her hair back. Messed up her hair there. All right. Here we go. Yeah, I like her little necklace there. Okay, now I picked out a flower and one of my embellishments. So these are the handmade embellishments that I make for my workshops. I think I showed them to you already, but I'll share with you again. So these are just little mini collage pieces that I make. I just take little not fabric, but you could use fabric, but paper scraps and little inspirational words, and I ink the edges on the words. I print them off on a Word document, cut them up, ink the edges, do the collage on the hearts and the stars and whatever, and you know, these ones I ink the edges on. This one I use gold paint around the edges, so they're just a nice little personal touch. So I picked the word play for this doll because I feel like this year for me is a lot about playing in my art and getting in touch with my inner child more. I never really played with dolls when I was a kid. I don't know why. I was kind of a tom girl. I did have cowgirl Barbie though, and I loved her. She came with a horse and a Jeep and a horse trailer. But other than that, and I had a Hug-a-Bunch when I was younger. But other than that, I never really played much with dolls. And then here's a little flower that I'm going to add. So I'm just trying to decide, do I want it here? I feel like that's too symmetrical if I do that. But if I put it here, I think it might be better. I think I'm going to do that. Should I put it down here? I feel like kind of offside might be nicer. Maybe like that. Or maybe I need a few more. Let me see. What else do I have here? This is my little, I take these to my spirit doll workshops. I like these white flowers, but I don't like that they're white. So I'm going to color them with a marker or something. Let me see. And they don't have to be green. They can be another color. I think I'll color them. Should we try purple? I actually was just at our local liquidation and they had these acrylic markers. I got this whole pack. I went for a swim before making this third video. I got this whole pack of acrylic markers for $5. Really great deal. And they work beautifully. Just color this in. If you don't have acrylic marker, you could use a marker, just a regular marker. Like that. Okay, let's do the other one. I am going to do the other one in a different color. I want pink, but there's no pink here. Let's use... Don't tell me I don't have a pink marker. Oh yeah, here we go. I definitely need to get some more supplies, art supplies, because I'm starting to get low on a few things. So it's nice having a lot of variety as an artist, isn't it? Okay, I love these colors. See, who says leaves all have to be green or gold or whatever, right? It's about playing. Okay, that's good enough. And then I'll just trim this. And I think what I'll do is, I'm just trying to figure out what would be good, like that. I think I kind of like that. Or do I want to have it down here? God, goodness gracious. I can't decide. You know what? I think I am going to put it up here. Let's just get it on there. Stop overthinking. See, I'm doing it again. Okay. This is where I originally thought it would look good, so that's where I'm going to place it. And then the next thing I'm going to do is, let's see, where in the world is my, I can't. I was going to put some gold paint on here, but I don't see my paint's over here. 1 second. Sorry about that. I am working on a large painting for custom order for a friend, so I have another table set up in my basement here for that large painting to sit on and while I work on it. Okay, so I'm just gonna, you can use your finger, but I'm just gonna brush some gold on some of the edges of this flower, just to give it a little something extra. There we go. That's good enough. Now, of course, you could add more embellishments to this if you wanted to. And then the last step, if you want to hang a, oops, I'm going to get my wire out again. If you want to do a hanger on the back of your doll, grab a pen or paintbrush or something, and you don't really need to do this. You could just use your finger, but make a little loop. like so. And then I'll just trim that a little bit. And then we'll turn this over. And I'm gonna grab some E6000 is what I like using for this step. The glue gun will work fine, you can use that. I like using the E6000 because it's super strong and it'll make sure that hook stays in place. So again, I'm just going to grab another piece of scrap fabric and I'm going to probably put the hook right here. So what I like to do is take my E6000 and I'll just put a little glob down in there. Then I'll take this and stick it right in the glob, and then I'll take my glue gun and put a little dot over top of that, because then it will stay in place right away quicker, if that makes yeah. So the way I talk sometimes, I don't know. Okay, there we go. And I'm just gonna trim this. And then it needs to set. The E6000 will take a little bit of time to dry. It does dry, you know, fairly quickly, but it's definitely not going to dry as fast as the glue gun is. So I would not hang this on the wall right away. I would wait several hours just to be on the safe side before you attempt to hang it up. If you wanted to keep adding to it, you could throw like a feather in her hair or something. I don't like that feather though. Let's pick a different feather. Here's a nice pink one, but it's, I don't know. I love that feather. It's been floating around here for a long time. I have no idea what to do with it, but I will at some point find the perfect doll for that feather. Okay, here we go. Here's a nice little green feather. Let's do that one. And we'll put it maybe on this side. Stick it there. Let's put a little glue on there. Oh. And stick it right in there somewhere. There we go. Okay, so let's see, how am I still recording? Okay, perfect. Okay, I'm gonna wrap up this video here quickly. I wanted to just quickly show you one last thing that you could do to your doll, and that is to take some Mod Podge. This is just matte Mod Podge, and we're gonna grab now. You could use some beads like this. This is just random colored beads. Or you could use like these kind of micro beads. I like using these because they're just a fun way to embellish your doll. So that's what I did with this doll. I just took some Mod Podge. You could also use glossy accents, but if you use glossy accents. Keep in mind that it's kind of pricey to use glossy accents all the time. So you just use it on little things, it'll last longer. But if you do this a lot, I would recommend Mod Podge because it's cheaper, but it takes a little bit longer to dry. Oops. So anyways, what I do is I just take like a glob of Mod Podge. I do this often to my dolls. I'll just put a glob on the bottom. Again, you don't have to do this step. This is just me. This is just something I like to do. You can certainly add other little things to this. And when you dry, of course, you're gonna have to leave it upside down, but to dry. But you could add these like little, you know, sequins or rhinestones. Okay, there. So this is obviously going to have to dry for a few hours before it can be, just adding a few more little touches, but that's basically it. You know, there's so much you can do with these dolls. They don't have to be complicated. It can just be really simple little things like adding a heart. You don't have to put a necklace. You don't have to do any of that stuff. Just do what you feel. But these are just a few things that I do and how I make my dolls. So use your imagination, have fun, and play. Okay, and thanks for watching.